Let's dive back into our presentations, the next 5 of the afternoon. First, we'll hear all about an art initiative created to fight COVID by alumna Lynn Estomin. Lynn Estomin, class of 93, with an MFA. Lynn Estomin is a media artist who creates art that speaks to social issues. She is interested in human stories and what they tell us about society. Her video documentaries have been screened at festivals internationally and have been broadcast nationally on PBS. Her interactive art won a Webby and other awards internationally, and she exhibits her work internationally in solo and group shows. For the past 6 months, Estomin has been working in collaboration with community groups on a public education campaign targeting vaccine-hesitant sectors of the local population. She has received grants and fellowships for numerous local and national foundations. Estomin is a professor of art emerita at Lycoming College, where she taught art and design for 25 years. Lynn, you have the stage.
And I'm short. So it's great to be back at DAAP. I'll start with a little context on this project. I live in Williamsport, PA, the county seat for rural Lycoming County. The county's 92% white, population of 133,300 is less than 2% Hispanic and Asian. African Americans make up about 5% of the county, and most live in Williamsport, which is more liberal than the surrounding rural areas. In the 2020 elections, 70% of Lycoming County voted for Trump. The Lycoming County vaccination rates are low, and death from COVID is far above state and national rates. When the vaccines became available, there was little information locally on where to get them or why vaccination was so important. I wondered, could I use my organizing experience and design experience to turn things around? For the past 2 years, I've been working with a group called Let's End COVID as a graphic and media designer. It's a volunteer education group encouraging vaccination and masking and countering disinformation. We received a grant from PEMA to fund the project. Science is viewed skeptically in the county. There's a pervasive mistrust of government, and self-proclaimed patriots stormed the school board, demanding that local officials ignore the state mandate for masking. So there were...
No big deal. Wear your mask.
No big deal. Just wear a mask.
It's no big deal. Wear a mask.
No big deal. Wear a mask.
As the COVID virus evolved, the means of containing the pandemic evolved, and the messaging for creating a self-community changed. Almost daily, it seemed. But my strategy remained the same. Research has shown that people who are hesitant are most likely to listen to someone they trust. My approach was to partner with trusted messengers in the community, using local people to speak to the local community. I designed a visual campaign targeting vaccine-hesitant sectors of the population. We created over 50 portraits of trusted messengers from the local community to speak to the concerns of their families and neighbors, dispel myths, and encourage vaccination.
I'm a physician in our community, but my most important role is a mom. When the vaccine first became available, I knew I had to do my research. I had to look at the data. I'm an infectious disease licensed physician, and that's what we're trained to do. That's when I realized it was time to get vaccinated. I am fully vaccinated. My husband is fully vaccinated. My 6-year-old son just completed his full dose series. We're all in this together. Get the shot. Let's end COVID.
The campaign branding features a white background, bold sans serif text, and a photo of a local messenger on billboards, yard signs, public and transit advertising, posters, buttons, stickers, a website, social media, and radio and TV spots. Early in the pandemic, vaccine hesitancy was high in the local Black community. I reached out to people that I'd worked with on other public art projects, including this mural in response to the murder of George Floyd. I assembled a team of well-known messengers, including Pastor Sam Washington of Antioch Baptist Church, local basketball hero turned NBA player Alize Johnson, community organizer Lucille Evans, and Juneteenth chair Lisa Williams. We organized pop-up clinics at Ebenezer Baptist Church, the Y, and Juneteenth that were well attended, and Black churches and organizations distributed over 250 yard signs to residents. In focus groups, talking to local physicians, I discovered that many women of childbearing age believe the myths circulating on social media that claim that COVID vaccines harm fertility, and they were not getting vaccinated. National research indicates that local doctors are among those most likely to convince people to consider vaccination. So we partnered with local OB/GYN doctors to tackle the disinformation with social media graphics, billboards, radio and TV spots. Young white men are also under-vaccinated, and hunting is a big deal in rural Pennsylvania. So we recruited a young hunter to be part of the campaign. The most hesitant people are conservative, Republican, Christian white males. In the latest Kaiser Foundation poll, 16% of the people polled said they would never get the shot, no matter what. But there is a middle ground between the unvaxxed and those who are vaccinated that can be, their concerns can be addressed if we find the right messenger and a message they relate to. In a county where 1 in 221 people have died from COVID, almost everyone knows someone who died. Sadly, that's been the motivator for some people to finally get vaccinated. Popular conservative radio talk show host Gary Chrisman agreed to be a model. He encourages his radio audience to get the shot, and he broadcasts live from 2 of our pop-up clinics. I was a little surprised when Sheriff Lusk contacted me and asked to be on a billboard. The vaccination rate of law enforcement officers nationally and locally is very, very low. I thought about shooting the sheriff getting his shot and using the tagline, "I shot the sheriff, but the deputy is unvaxxed." Didn't really want to deal with copyright or insult the few deputies who might have already been vaccinated. Our current focus is on reaching the vulnerable and those who interact with them. While the vaccination rate in the county for people over 65 is 84% versus 93% for the state, less than half are boosted. and less than 60% of personal care aides who work with the most vulnerable are vaccinated. We found that the potential loss of work was a major concern for aides who have no sick pay and live from paycheck to paycheck. We partnered with an organization that received a grant to provide incentives, including a day's pay in case someone has to take off for side effects. The local school board declined to hold clinics or even advertise clinics at schools or to do any education in the schools on vaccination, claiming it was too political. But I have a kick-ass group of high school students who are conducting a guerrilla campaign, posting informational flyers and pop-up clinic notices, giving out personal stickers, recruiting messengers from the sports teams, the band and clubs, and posting on social media. It's difficult to prove the impact of any public education campaign. We did provide questionnaires at vaccination sites, and most people said that they had seen our media. And the vaccination rates have gone up in the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn, very much. You've had a lot of hard work to do, but you unlock that key of people will receive a message better from someone they know. So you those weren't stock photos. Those were literally people from the community. Hey, I know that person. So well done. Thank you for sharing that.